I'm Marc Silber. I'm a photographer and author in Carmel, California. I love having you guys with us. Denice Duff has been on all sides of the camera. So she's a professional photographer. This is some of her video work here. She's a professional photographer, an actor, and a director. So she knows every side of being on a camera. And she's developed an easy style of capturing the spirit of her subjects with a very simple but effective lighting approach. Denice, so great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us again.
It's so super cool to be here.
Is it okay if we just dive in?
This was my birthday pictures.
This is from last night, yesterday.
This was last night. And my theme was the women all needed shot all in white. I just wanted everyone to be, I just wanted all the women in white, and I wanted smiles. You can see here, again, these are just the raw, so you're catching a reflector in it. It's just one light on them with a fan.
And you told them ahead of time, that was part of the invitation, wear white.
Okay, here's where the woman in me.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of white shirts from Walmart. About 50% of the women coincidentally wore white, and the other 50% I loaned them a shirt.
You thought ahead.
She was super nervous, and the only way she started to feel comfortable was when I just had her I'm like, you got to shake it off. Of course, I just keep shooting just because it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
But like once she started moving, then I was able to get just like something decent of her.
I like that one. So again, you're directing, you're saying stuff, you're
everything. I even told her I said, put your hand on your face. I tell them put their hand on their face, and I say, do it gently. See how she's not squishing her face, right?
Very nice.
Remember I told you all the girlfriends?
Yeah.
So they're all laughing and talking to the girlfriends, which is fine.
Oh,
I said, put your hand by your face. And so she did that. You could see it wasn't quite right yet, a little uncomfortable. A friend made her laugh. And then I said, put it on your face. And I showed her, I said, very gently, don't squish your face.
That's the money shot there, isn't it?
Yep.
Because you've got catch light, you've got her relaxed.
Yep. And then now I can go in, and she's got you can see this is raw. You can look here, I didn't do anything to it. So if I want to pull the shadows a little bit to bring a little bit to the, I'm going to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Let's drop it in just a bit.
Just
here
so you
and
get
here.
rid of the background. There we go.
And I can maybe a little more contrast. I might want to lower the highlight a bit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a little too like on her forehead. It might be a little orangish. I can cool it off there a little bit. And because she's a woman, maybe I just lower a little bit of the texture and lower a little bit of the clarity.
Those are good tips. I use them all the time in portraiture.
Yeah. Just to lower that, it's just the clarity and the texture, just a little bit. We're not going to make them and then again, the shadows. And I always, whenever I'm doing something, I go all the way to the left, all the way to the right.
Right.
And then I bring it back, and you bring it back. And for a woman with dark hair, if you go too much, they look like they have gray hair. So bring it back till you see hair, but no more white. See, she's still a brunette.
Yeah.
Whereas this is nothing.
Right.
See that's nothing.
Yeah.
So you pull a little bit of that shadow, and then you don't have to go crazy with hair light either.
Right.
That's
a really good tip.
So and one light source on a woman's face is, if you look in here, there's one light source and then the reflector right below it, that card.
What was the light source, by the way? It was just softbox behind her? Or
it's
behind
just exactly. It's one softbox.
Yeah, it's that softbox that we saw over there.
Yep.
Amazing.
And every woman got that.
You know what, Denice? We should have you come back and just do a show on your processing, because I love it. I love and you and I have talked about some of these things, even changing the hue a little bit or whatever. There's all these controls that you have on Lightroom, and I know you mentioned to me you just play around with them all until you get what you want.
Yep, all the ones down here that were like, what does this do?
Don't
What
forget
is this
those
little thing? Right? When it comes to skin tone. Because that's something with film. We forget that when we shot in film, film had all these beautiful properties.
Yeah.
And digital is wide open. People think once you shoot it, it's ready to go. No, it isn't. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll open up a magazine and I'll keep a magazine next to me, like a high quality magazine, and I'll look at the skin textures. I'll look at portraits from Vanity Fair or Elle, and I'll look at what they're getting. Now this is processed a little bit. This is like nothing. Okay, so that's raw, and then there we go. I'm even showing just a little before and after,
Oh, yeah.
And women, again, they tend to like things a little bit brighter, whiter, but not blown out. You still want to see, you still want to see features that define them, but, and even that, let's see, I don't think I did anything to the clarity here. Yeah, she's full on. So let me lower some of the texture, lower.
That definitely softens without going overboard, because you're not moving it very far. It's -11.
Nope.
You can still see her face, her skin, is not being masked, but just a little bit.
That's,
And texture they added recently, and that helps a lot too.
It's just that's a fun one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then once I found something, I select it. You guys all know you sync it, and then I go and see something like that. I love it, and her body's all weird, but you just crop it.
Yeah.
You can, like, maybe it's just a fantastic. Maybe it becomes a horizontal.
Right.
And then maybe I want to see it like because it's maybe I want to see it totally black and white.
Desaturated. Yep.
So there's so much that it's just joy. I love to just show the joy, reset that, and it's like a totally different picture. So really playing around with cropping is such a magical part of the process.
Yes.
Like there's something fun. She's a dancer, she's over 50. She's in phenomenal shape. So I love seeing her body. But let's say if she's going to speak somewhere at an event, they don't have the room for all that body. So I want to crop it, and we don't want to see the hand that's kind of floating out of nowhere.
Right.
So, we'll just make it like that.
We have a question from the Blind Husky team. Jared, are you going to read that? Are you there?
How do you cope with the skin that's not so clean and nice? Do you use it like lighting on set, or do you do it in post?
If it's let's say if you can't put makeup on it, I have always carried around in your kit, and I got this from other photographers back in the early film days. They would have a little palette of I'm going to actually show you something that here was my little table. This little palette.
Oh yeah.
By Krylon, and what it does is it's got 3 different shades, so I can mix. I can mix, and then having a little powder with a big puffy brush, and then a smaller brush with something like this, because I'll tell you, I'll do a lot of business people, men, and men's skin can be very ruddy and red.
Yeah.
And when you ask them, what kind of pictures would you like? And they go on Pinterest, and they get all these pictures of, Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad. I want to look just like that.
And all these beautiful portraits where all of these men have sat in front of a makeup chair for 40 minutes and got the red taken out of them very gently. You just use like a little brush to kind of just dust a little bit of powder, and it makes all the difference, right? So to just have in your kit, even just a little bit of get a bronzer powder and like 3 different shades with a brush, And literally that can save you, because trying to light and if it zits, again, a little bit of makeup helps with that. But I have found that post-production, I'm very good at Photoshop. I tell the client, don't worry about it. We're gonna handle that in post, as much as I try not to do that.
Yeah.
There is just certain light that just in general looks beautiful on a face, and to try and change it for the skin texture when what you want is something that makes the shape of their face and their eyes glow. That kind of, I prefer to do the one that goes the overall to make the shape of their face good, and then I can deal with the skin later. There's sometimes backlight, like a beachy backlight with a little soft reflector, minimizes that. Choosing to go in black and white also helps, and using your post-production to keep lowering the reds also helps.
That's great advice. Thank you, and happy birthday once again.
Thank you so
look
much.
Marvelous.
This is awesome.
We
Thanks,
will be
guys.
talking again very, very soon. Share it, like it, subscribe. Definitely go to AYP Club. Jared will put the link in there. If you're not already a member, definitely join so that we can carry on the conversation with you guys. I love bringing you this content, and I want to remind you to remember to get out. Say this with me. Remember to get out and capture your own images of life.